If you start the round here, I promise you, you will get a kill 7 out of 10 times here. Either there or there. And if you're feeling even more spicy, you start the round here every time. You wait, you don't shoot the tank, and you'll get a kill. I promise. Play this angle instead of the high ground, and you'll get a kill every time they cross here. This crack, especially when you have sights, is very important. I think this is like a criminally underrated Widow map. It's really one of those where I like to vote for it in the map vote, even though it's usually not so popular, but it's kind of underrated or it's not talked about enough how good Widow is on this, I think. So, I'm going to go through another map here on Paraiso, and I do want to get to these more classic Widow maps, but I feel like it's better that I look at these good but not the most well-known Widow maps, because maybe there'll be some more feedback in the comments, which I really appreciate those of you who wrote something there about like the form of this sort of video, because I have I see that there are a lot of things you could focus on or could choose not to focus on. For now, I'm going to try to do this quite like I did the one on King's Row, and just let me know if there's something you would like me to do specifically, and I'll try to do it. So, I'll start with the attack again, and here I always do the same thing. I go out this door. You can't see anything here anyway, so there's no reason to look for anything. Then I hookshot on this. I used to actually hookshot on this, but the advantage for that is you can shoot deeper range-wise. So someone is there. But the advantage for this, I think it's a bit, you're a bit less like susceptible to getting shot if there's an enemy widow looking at you, or someone else also, because you're closer. And then I always proceed like this, which I find useful, because you go here, it's like people don't really expect you to be here, and you get to shoot a little bit more. Of course, it can be you're a bit out of cover and stuff, and yeah. And then depending on how much the enemy goes back there, I hookshot here, however many times. But maybe what I also do is, even if they stay there, if I can walk up here without being forced out, then actually it's quite strong, I find, to just go here. Like even if they're up there, it doesn't matter. You just go here and you just peek here, and like maybe there's someone on the floor, maybe there's someone here, maybe there's someone here, maybe there's someone here. You get to shoot all of this shit from here without being shot by them. Of course, someone can drop on you and instantly kill you, which is dangerous. But I like doing it. And on the way back, on the way in there, you place this up here, because especially if they're already out here, they're gonna walk back in there and walk into that. And even if they're in there, it's fine to have it for if they walk out again. And yeah, so I do that, or you could have it in here, of course, or you can end up doing both. You could put it here on the way out, whatever. And yeah, if this, usually if I've peeked here for a shot, or for however much I think it's worth staying for, then depending on whether they're still here, I grapple like this usually. And there you also get to shoot like here from that grapple, and you get to shoot there, and also at the back. So you do that to get up here as well, and have a look here if someone is left. And then I drop to here and see if I can get something done. And like, well, at this point, if you have this, then I guess you can also go and take it like this. Which is useful. I feel like there's a lot of ways to open it up here as Widow. You have a lot of different options, which is nice. I don't think I ever like. I don't ever go far right, at least, and going here, yeah, it's probably useful sometimes. Nice to look at that. Of course, you want to be. Yeah, one thing someone mentioned in the comments is this focusing on like when to be aware of the Widow duel and stuff like this, and yeah, so one thing is you want to keep in mind, you always want to keep in mind where you expect them to be, of course. So here it's quite common that Widows sit here. I will, as we will get to on the defense, I do as well. It's maybe the spot where I spend the most time on defense, even though I rotate. But yeah, so as with anything, you just want to like know what could be there. You have to take some risks sometimes when you peek something, so you might not be able to like clear everything perfectly, but yeah. But this is like a very general thing. You need to, as Widow, you need to take advantage of the fact that your team can peek Widow. It's like, it might be like a bit forehead, but if you don't know, then ask your team to figure out where she is, especially your tank. And then what you do is, you don't make a sound until you know where she is, and then you peek somewhere where you think it's like you have a chance of killing her from, and it could be like because it's advantageous for you, or because you think she doesn't expect that, or whatever. But just knowing where she is and knowing that she doesn't know where you are, that's the most important thing. So you always try to keep track of where she is, and if you don't know, you can ask people, or you can just wait until you hear her shoot and stuff. So, okay. And then usually, whatever it took to open it up, when you get some kills and stuff, then it's nice to be up here, I think. And people will try to come back there, so you can shoot them there, or there, from here, and you can like hide easily. It's good for the cover, and like if you feel safe too, you can peek out all the way. And but to be honest, if you want to shoot this bottom left, then it's probably better to just be bottom, because then you're not peeking the right side. But there are many options here. You just want to like not make the mistake that I also remember I mentioned this on King's Row third. You can have a mistake that I also have made a lot in my life, is like, you think you've won the fight, you just want to go and like end it fast, but it's not worth it usually. So you just want to go on point and just like shoot them very fast, kill them very fast. Just no. You just need to keep your like position as much as necessary, and make sure you like just focus on not being an easy pick for them to get a chance to retake. But of course it depends how much you need to like put it all on red or whatever. The way to start second, I think, my preferred way is to go in here, put the mine there, and just usually someone will be backing up in main if they're not all wiped. If they're all wiped, then it's fine. You just walk in, and then you can look this. This is a very, very dangerous angle that is very useful to have when you're attacking this. It's like it doesn't seem that like you can see that much, but a lot of people will walk through that area. If they like, how often do they all walk top like this? How often do they all? I don't know, but just from experience, it's like it's quite potent. You can get someone here. It's kind of similar to this King's Row top left thing. If you watch that on after taking first, you go and take this now and see what you can get. And then this point is like it's very good for Widow, but it's also it can be problematic depending on how what the enemy plays, and if they like how much attention they put on this high ground. Because as I see it, you have like two good options here, and one is this, but here you can quickly become like quite useless if they don't pick it. And so the more aggressive thing that I do and I find useful is this: you grapple here and you play up here, but 10 meters. Come on, it's so easy for Genji Echo to go on you. I feel like just recently I just kept dying doing this, but it's like I don't see that you have many other good options. It's like you go up here, you try to hit someone with a hook shot, you try to sit here, but you're like very ready to kind of say fuck it and go, and then you just have to like go back. But yeah, often you get someone here with hook shot. Yeah, and the cool thing about this is also, I don't know, is you can like see so much from here, kind of. A lot of people go in through that. You have that, so it's like a useful place to mine as well if someone goes on you. And you kind of have a good chance to back up, but it's also close. So it's like hit or miss. It's always like sometimes you just gotta take this sort of risk to open up the game and get a pick, because you don't always get to have the perfect kind of position where you're both safe and you get to look at people from the enemy team. But yeah, the nice thing is you can like switch between these as well. So if like say the whole enemy team is like going up these stairs like that and there's no one here, I mean you can go here. It's not super safe necessarily, but yeah, let's like walk up here and just think about this for a second as well, because if your team takes this, like going up here alone, I mean also going up there alone, but going up here alone is a bit dangerous. Usually it depends on your rank and stuff, but people, this is like the whole thing that this point is, it revolves around a bit. It's like taking control of this. And yeah, if you can have control of this, of course of course it's super nice to go here. Again, yeah, you both have like, it depends like how far back the enemy is, but yeah, if you're here and you can shoot there, it's really nice. Shoot there, shoot there. There's a way they can get to you, but I would say maybe this is even better, but yeah. Don't expect to go here alone when 5 enemies are holding it though, that's the thing. Even if the whole team is here, you can try to do the thing from before and go up there. It's, even though it's dangerous, you can catch someone like this. A lot of times I remember catching people who are like jumping around on around the stairs and stuff and flying around, whatever it is, Mercies, Ilaris, I feel like I recall. So, but yeah, I see those as the 2 main ways to open up this map. And then of course one thing you have to be aware of, it's more interesting for the defense, but you can shoot through this and it's like, yeah, I'll show you on the defense. It's more useful to actually use it there, but you kind of have to be aware that when you walk out there, you don't get fucked. Yeah, maybe when you get the point really close, you want to go here and be able to shoot these places. I don't see much use of like, I know I have done it before, like walking all the way here, but it is a bit like, it is a bit crazy, it's a bit desperate and stuff, so I don't see it as like the default thing, but that's the thing you can do. When you've kept second, here's this, it's kind of a similar pattern, right? There's always this, or there's usually this place you want to go fast to catch someone before they kind of walk back, or like just to get and hold this position initially. And for me on this, it's probably here. It depends. If they all spawn back there, then it's not so helpful to go here. I mean, you can still catch people when they go through there, but going here is especially good if someone is going back there, if they don't TP spawn, and like if they're like stuck over there or whatever. But this is like the defensive place. So if they're all on third, then what I want to do instead is I want to go here already, and not just here. I want to go like here, and then you want to have the mine in there, and of course you're aware of that. But like people always play like in this little kind of corner here, so it's nice if you can get to here and get to shoot there, and from here you get to shoot like everything, right? There's that and there's that, and yeah, you just can't see this door, and you need to be aware of people going on you from there. That is always how it is. There are always these risks. Of course, there's also just this. It helps similarly because like it matters like who controls all this, and if you are looking here, then that's good, and here you are a lot safer from that because it's further away. Of course, people can cross the bridge and go on you and stuff too, but so there's that. And then of course one thing, if you didn't know, you can stand on these. You can stand on both this and this. Maybe this is like less known even than that, but yeah, spots like this, I mean, you can rarely stay there for too long, but can be useful. And you can also stand on these on both sides, which I don't know, it's not so useful super often, but like I think rather what you want to do when you advance here is assuming that you were here or here when you when you like wipe them again, and you're pushing further now and you're taking this, then what I prefer to do is like go here and even go here. And maybe it's like, maybe it's not always optimal, but it's also, if you have sides, that's also worth thinking about doing things like that instead. It's you wouldn't gain much from going in here. It's all like completely closed off. The other option I see here is that you go bottom and here. This is not half bad. you get to shoot there and there from here. So if you need the more kind of hidden angle, there's a similar one to this on Junkertown 2nd, where of course the high ground is always good, but this is actually not too bad either, I think. For first point defense, you have a few options. I'll tell you my preferred way to start first, and then I'll tell you some other options after. Also, one thing to keep in mind is sometimes you play 2 rounds, of course, on these maps, and you want to have, in my opinion, you want to have like 2 different things to do, because you do the same thing both rounds. I do that quite often. Maybe not everyone keeps track of it anyway, but if you do the same grapple, if you sit in the same spot, people are gonna remember from the first round, and so that's why it's worth to know more than one. But I put the mine there. Someone walks. That's like before the round. I put it there, and then someone walks around that and gets hit. Put it somewhere else if you prefer, like that. Some corner where they can't see it, and then the first place I like to sit is here, and it's like the goal here for me is to catch someone there, and I like to stay here quite long and maybe like too risky. You also get to shoot people there, and you get to shoot people if they walk like, I don't know, it's you have a lot of chances here usually. But if someone goes on you really fast, it is a bit dangerous, and you will be left with the choice where often I go like this to get out, or you can try to go like up here to your team if someone is here, or you can get healed here. But then you have to cross all this in a LOS, and it's like not amazing. But you can also go all the way over this instead, but same kind of problem, right? So I usually go back around, but it depends how, like, where they are and everything in the moment. You can also get the mega, but yeah. And for the other thing, this is the thing I used to do here. I used to sit and choose to ignore the possibility of the hookshot here, and just pre-aim this, because this corner is like, there's a really high chance you get to shoot someone there, I think. But it's just not so safe, because if they have Widow that goes and hook shots, you can just die here very easily. If you stay too long, someone dives you fast, and depending on how much help you have, you're gonna die maybe. So I don't do this anymore. If you choose to do this, if you want to stay here and shoot, like, try to shoot there, I don't know. Either way, it's nice to try to catch someone fast. Then I like to like hookshot here, and get a lot of height there, and it's not so, they don't really see you coming, so that's good.
Over there.
Regardless of where you are playing from, like if you have retreated back here, you can maybe also do it. Say you like start down here, you retreat kind of early, so they're not here yet. If you don't like edge it all the way until they're like on you, then yeah, you can also go and do that. And like just playing here on the way out is also not bad, I think. You really have a lot of choices on maps like these, and I think this is like a criminally underrated Widow map. It's really one of those where I like to vote for it in the map vote, even though it's usually not so popular, but it's kind of underrated or it's not talked about enough how good Widow is on this, I think. Maybe because people just don't talk about this map. Well, after this, generally what I will do is I will have gone back around here, and then I will simply just walk, like, depending on kind of how pressured I am. You have to be aware when you walk back that if the Widow is doing what you're doing on the attack, she might already be here by now. So you got to be a bit careful with that. And yeah, it's like, assuming you've just used grapple to get back here, you don't have it yet. So it can maybe be fine to walk up here. It can maybe be fine to walk under. Whatever it is, I get back, and then by the time I'm here, I probably have grapple. Then I usually grapple here first to let this be the first thing I peek before going here.
Over here.
But it can vary. So, but yeah, you have all these angles to choose from here. So you just want to be switching around, and this is, I think, the most effective. It's less safe because it's not high ground, but it's more safe because of better cover than staying up there and not having to use your grapple before to go here. So you have it back faster. But yeah, pros and cons for everything like that. But yeah, this, you see everything when they want to cross, and it's really useful. And if they've already crossed, then you can also go here and shoot them here, because
Over there.
it's usually what people do is they go up here. You get to do a lot from there. And then, like, if you've lost most of that out there, it depends a lot what you do now, because you can go more or less defensive depending on how much space they have. And I would say this is one of the more defensive ones. You want to think about where your team is as well, because if you have like 3 people sitting down here, maybe you don't go there, you know. You want to try to be somewhere that, especially if you have another long range DPS, you want to try to not go there.
No one can hide
And so,
from my sight.
but this is fine if it's kind of dangerous to go up here, and you just want to vary it, is how I see it anyway. So you can also, of course, even without grapple, you can go back up here, but you always have to keep in mind, like, the time it takes to rotate somewhere is also kind of, you want the uptime as much as possible. So that's why I like the idea that you've gone back here and you've gotten grapple back, so you go and use it fast, then stay for 1-2 shots, whatever, then you go here, then you've been here, then you have grapple back, then you can maybe go back, or you can like do something else. And if they're really deep in, and if you're like scared someone's gonna go on you here, I would say not there. I would say you can always go here, because if someone is playing on this high ground, you do have a chance to shoot them here. It's just a more defensive option. But to be fair, if like a monkey walks on you here, he's still gonna go and kill you here. So you, depending on how much they have, you can just be cooked anyway. But yeah, let's go to second. And yeah, I think you want to actually do kind of a similar thing. Well, you can think of the attack as kind of a nice way to illustrate what you should do in defense. Like, this angle is also important from defense. Whether it's the first thing you do, I mean, it depends. If you've just respawned and stuff, it's like a maybe. It's I would say still, I like the most I like is to be here already and kind of be on this side, because you can like use this as cover and you can shoot them as they walk out and shoot that. If they have Widow, you watch out for that a lot. Otherwise, if they don't, you just need to get a lot of value in this area, because this high ground is strong as fuck, and it can be hard for them to get there. If your team is doing a good job at holding that, and if no enemies kind of, it depends, because some enemies can use this as like this cover and this high ground to get to you, and so like Genji Echo can be tough, but someone needs to like really have it in for you, and if they don't, then you have a lot of freedom here probably. But it always depends what the enemies have. And then here you see the thing I was mentioning before. This crack, especially when you have sights, is very important. So you can even like, it's not a thing I talked about much in any of these, but yeah, when to use sights is also like a whole thing on its own. It's obviously like one of the easier and more simple ults in the game, maybe if not the easiest and simplest, but still there are times where it's better than others. And for example, in a place like this, you could think that you kind of want to use it when they've committed a little bit to going in, but someone is not in yet. I think that's where you get the maximum value out of it. So, because like if you wait all the way until they're all crossed, then they can all go and kill your team anyway, and you will have to do this, which I like this kind of thing. You go here and try to shoot them there as well, but preferably you get to use it before they've all gone in, and someone has to walk in through it, or they have to wait, which is, that's sometimes the value you have to accept with this ult. If yeah. But yeah, it's really useful to make this shot easy, because it's hard to kill someone here if you don't have sights, but if you have sights, it's actually quite easy, and many people don't think about it, so think about that. And from here, you always need to remember, I think, if someone goes on you, you have this good option to retreat, to go back here. And this high ground zone is not that useful. You can't really shoot stuff from here, but it's like nice to just be able to go back this way, because normally you can't unless you have some kind of mobility like that. So if someone used a cooldown to go on you, then you can get away. And then yeah, like whether you want to try to catch someone here as well, I don't know. It depends on all these things, right? But I would say you want to be up here, or you want to like be looking at that kind of lane. or if you're even more, if you're forced back even more, you kind of have this option where like you can shoot that and you can shoot main here, or even more back. Then it's like, and this is good. I really like this. To be fair, for Widow, like on both here and in this door, you can still see like so much stuff. You can see up there from here, which is important, and from here, same shit. Not so bad, I think. To this whole point is you really have a big chance to do a lot on defense for Widow here. But of course, you're also at the mercy of what the enemy chooses to do, as always. So for third point, could maybe say that it's the worst, but I think often you want to be playing around this on the back left, and you can be up here for that, because again, it depends where they are, but maybe if you just lost it, you don't want to already be here. And this is kind of like, you're also kind of close to where they can get to you, right? So it's kind of, the thing I can say for sure is when they are wiped and you win a fight, they're all dead, you definitely go here for some amount of time and stay here. And if you're feeling really spicy, you can even do this and go here, which I really like. But it's not. It's kind of a troll as well. But going here is kind of fun sometimes, if the opportunity is there. But otherwise, it's like this when they're really far back, and then your options are kind of when they're not. It's a bit awkward, this middle phase, to get a nice angle on where you want to shoot them. But if they're going top, of course you can just use this. But as it always is with Widow and stuff, you actually don't want to just sit in main all the time, because it's just you just lose too much value from just sitting in main. And this is what I guess I would consider main in this case, right? I think still it can be pretty good though. If someone has already crossed, someone hasn't crossed, you are here to watch them cross there, you know. That's then you want to catch them. But I think she probably benefits even more, Widow, in this point, from playing in these spawns, right? Because you can play here. And this is quite useful. This is quite useful spot as well. And the same goes for over here. To be fair, all these three are like kind of useful. But I don't see it as being as strong or like broken as second and first. I see a lot more opportunity there. Like you can hookshot this, which is nice. And I remember even recently I hit a hookshot like this when someone is in the door there. So you have those options too. And the mine is always just any inside wall that you think they're gonna walk on. It always depends like how I don't know, it's like this should be like video in itself too, but do they have flankers? Then you want to use the mine to make sure you can 1v1 them, I think. And do they not? Then you put it in somewhere where someone will get hit, so that you can see them with wallhack, and so you can apply DPS passive. It gets more value against flankers here too, right? That's it for Paraiso. So if you like the way this format is, then let me know and give it a like. And if you think there's something that should be like shorter, or if there's something I should focus more on, then let me know in the comments. I'm just kind of speaking here from my heart, so to say, right? And from experience. So I'll most likely forget things, and I will have not focused on certain things, and that's how it is. Remember to subscribe.